Good evening, and welcome to the Noah Vision Tales of Strange and the Bizarre. For tonight's story, I present Giant Monsters and Citywide Destruction. The story was written by myself, and special thanks to Henry Resendez, Jordan Maldonado, Stuckinyourheadphones, Brian Nichols, and Gavin Parished for providing voice acting. And if you enjoy, please like, subscribe, and comment the word monster to save me from the evil powers of the YouTube algorithm. With all that being said, let's get on with the video.
Recent sightings by local fishermen have noted a Godzilla-like creature swimming around the waters near the state of New York. One man said that the creature was as large as a battleship. Scientists have dubbed this new type of aquatic lizard Pterovorax, and say that there is no chance a creature of its size could survive out of the water.
Boats attempting to approach the monster have been crushed by the creature. The Coast Guard have referred to the Pterovorax as a threat to those who sail in the area.
Disproving scientist, Pterovorax has come ashore and is making his way towards the city of New York. Apparently, the president has demanded fighter jets to be scrambled and kill Pterovorax.
Any attempt by the military to intercept Pterovorax have all come to a fiery end. Pterovorax has been raised to the level of a national threat. We believe that the monster may reach New York City in a matter of days.
New York, the Big Apple. I moved there when I turned 21, a drastic attempt to pump some dramatic change into my mundane life. And for the first 3 years, that seemed to be what happened. I got an apartment in a fairly decent area of the city. I got myself a job working in a popular bar. Life seemed to be going well for the trio of years I spent in the city. That all changed after one evening. I had been hearing about Pterovorax for weeks. In the news, at work, everyone was talking about this giant lizard swinging around the waters near the city. People were too busy talking about its 50-meter height, its 90-meter tail, and its glistening horn. They never considered that Pterovorax could possibly make landfall and the consequences of that action. It was late in the evening when everyone on my street heard it. The distant thudding of the gigantic reptilian feet, the giant monster Pterovorax marching its way through the city, leaving ash and smoke in its path. I watched it from my tiny apartment window as it rampaged its way through New York City, its flaming breath turning the distant buildings to ash and rubble. I watched as thousands of people ran through the street, but I didn't feel like joining them. I couldn't join them. Pulling myself away from this sight seemed like an impossible task. As I watched, something flew overhead. A silver, robotic figure flying straight towards Pterovorax. A beam of blood-red energy fired forth from the face of the silver robot and charred the green skin of the giant reptilian monster. A pounding sound came from my apartment door.
Sir, you need to come with me.
A soldier shouted as he broke down the thin wood which stood before him. The soldiers seemed young, younger than most soldiers you see on posters and on TV. He looked just as shocked by these events as I was. He escorted me out of the building and into the street outside. The air was thick with ash and soot, and the blazing fires had stained the sky a coral orange. The heat in the air was almost unbearable, and the streets were full of soldiers trying to calm and control the panicking masses. As the soldier guided me into the street, Pterovorax let out a monumental roar full of pain. The wind of this kicked up more ash and debris. It flowed through the air and into my eyes and mouth. I coughed and spluttered as I blindly panicked. I stumbled through the destroyed and burned streets. The sound of other distant civilians around me faded in and out like a detuned radio. My vision was reduced to an orange blur, and my eyes stung like they were covered in an acidic powder. I could still hear the sounds of the giant fire-breathing lizard fighting against the strange robotic figure were echoing all around. Eventually I caught my foot on a piece of rubble and fell to the ground, scraping my elbow and knee. I laid on the floor amongst the burnt chunks of building. I was sure that this would be my end. I heard another deafening roar from Pterovorax and then braced to be stepped on. Then, as suddenly as I had fallen, I felt the feeling of being moved.
Sir, we're not going to let you die.
A voice declared. It was a soldier, the one who had pulled me from my apartment mere moments before. He was dragging me to safety. I was pulled to my feet and thrown in the back of a military truck. My vision had, for the most part, returned by this time, and the sight inside the van will never leave me. People, families, all covered in black ash. Bloody injuries covered their bodies. Felt like something out of a film, only far too real. I wish I had stayed blind for a little longer so I didn't have to look upon their faces of fear and panic. The van took the survivors to a so-called safe zone, essentially just a military compound. My body was tired and battered from the strange events. Suddenly, above us was a sound, an electronic voice.
People of New York, you may be afraid no longer. The mighty Atlas is here to defend you.
The voice echoed around like a speaker from a music concert. The robotic figure was hovering above us all, like an angel. Above its head, the robotic figure held something, a giant
Your governments
tooth.
may have failed to protect you in your time of need, and your city may be gone, but Atlas is here to defend you. Atlas has eliminated the great beast you call Terravax.
The metallic voice was like a comforting blanket. It was the robotic voice of our hero. Over the next few days, the news showed shaky footage of the giant beast rampaging through New York. Low-quality clips of Atlas, our hero, combating the fire-breathing monster. Every single piece of footage made the event feel more like a Hollywood blockbuster, like the day didn't really happen. The memories of that day had a strange haze to them in my head, like a bad dream that wouldn't fade. The events still come back to me. If I lose concentration for long enough, I return to that charged street of panic and fear.
Subscribe if you enjoyed and want to see more content in future.